Okay, so this is an update of the Halo armour. This is actually the plate that goes on the buttocks, which is this bit. If I can just zoom in, and I'm using the this model really is my basis, and you can see that on here it's actually got these bits cut out. Now I've noticed on a lot of the YouTube armours that have been made, people haven't done that, they've just done the solid plate, which is okay. In fact, one of the other Halo figures I've got, it's got it as a solid figure, but you can see what I've done with mine. Starts off same as ever, paper cura, put it together as a mould, fiberglass the inside. Now on this, because it's going to be quite robust, I've also fiberglassed the outside as well, and then coated this with isopan, which is like our body filler. I think the Americans call it Aquabond, and then sprayed it with a spray primer, and then all the other imperfections I've then took out. Now I've done this on purposely, I've made mine look a bit twisted and beaten, so there's certain things that are missing on there. Looked a bit plain when I first did it, so that's why I'm going to try and sort of jazz it up a little bit. How I'm intending to do that is, first of all, I'm going to cut, or I have cut out a recess into the back panel, and also the bit where the belt goes through. Now a lot of the ones on YouTube are actually done using Velcro and stuff, but I wanted this to be quite robust. So the way I've done it is pretty much how it works over here. This is the front place, it's nowhere near complete yet. And what I've done is I've cut two strips, and I've got a belt which I bought from the Police UK site, a police belt, the Velcro one I've gone for rather than the leather, and it basically just Velcros to the right thing, and it's a push fit, and that will basically, this bit clips into that bit, as you can probably see there, so it just slots in, and the belt itself will then fold through here. So I need to reinforce these bits, which is what we're going to do a bit later on. So that's where the belt goes, and I've checked that everything all fits, etc. To cut the bits out then, obviously we've got the cardboard on here, and as I've actually started sawing, it stuck some of the cardboard out, so I've had to cut the cardboard out, and that will be another skin of body filler and sanding down onto there. On this part then, this is how I did the actual cutting out of the bits. First thing is to make a template, so they're the same and identical each side. So I made a template that fits on to make sure it's the same each side. Then use the drill, and on this one I've used a 10mm drill, and literally use a centre punch. You don't have to use a centre punch, those are centre punches. Just zoom in. So there's the centre punches, and it just starts to drill off without it dancing all over the area, just makes it a point. Or alternatively, if you use these type of drills, which is like the wood cutting drills, they have the bit already on. Sometimes you don't have to do it, but I did it anyway just as habit. And you drill right the way through. Your next stage then, well, one of two things, you could use a Dremel. So the easiest thing and the cheapest thing by far, depends how accurate you are cutting I suppose with this, is a coping saw. So I've used a coping saw, just undid it. Literally the blade fits through the hole, and then you turn it back onto the saw, and then you just cut whichever area that you need out, and then just finish off by filing. Now you can see on this one I've got a sharp edge on this bit and rounded the other two edges. Now my plan originally was this sort of stuff, this type of mesh that you get for things like plastering onto that bit, is literally to insert it behind to make those sort of things and go through, and then on the back I'm actually going to put in a grid, a mesh, metal mesh around these bits just to support them all over, so all this section will be done, and that should hopefully give me the effect that's actually on this sort of drawing. Now this back panel here you can see, which on this bit is going to be this bit. I'm contemplating actually getting a piece of aluminium, probably about 2mm, 3mm thick, and actually making and manufacturing this piece and putting the piece of metal actually onto this bit and screwing it on just to give effect. But we'll see what that's like. So at the moment, although this is very smooth, yeah, those very smooth. I might actually cover that with metal just to make it a bit stronger and to finish off. So the next stage for this bit is to cut out these parts onto here, do it in the method I've shown. Read fiberglass, sand it down, and then it's ready to prime. Okay, so second part's been cut out now, and around the edges you can see I've applied the body filler, still a bit sticky, around the edge. Now the reason this is a pinky colour is I've put a bit more hardener, the catalyst, in this just to make it solidify quicker, and then what I'll do is rub that down again so it's nice and smooth. Once that's done, next stage is really then to give this a spray using filler primer, and I'm just using the stuff you get from Halfords. All the instructions that you need are written on the tin. It's fairly straightforward, you just spray that on. Spray it in areas that you need high concentration so it thickens up quite a bit, and I'll show you some of that in a second. And literally just wet and dry it down. I use 400 paper. Some of my previous YouTube clips have actually got that part on, so I'm not going to go over that with this area. So the next stage is you'll see this, it'll be sprayed and it'll be primed and hopefully wet and dried, ready to put the red coat on to match the normal body armour. As you can probably see then, this bit's ready to go into this area, and just going back to our original sort of image we were looking at, these ones have got the details in. We'll see if we can zoom in actually on those. So you can see the details in, you can see where we've got the little screw holes and bolt holes on there as well, and I'll try and put those in. Some of the bigger models, which are these ones, are just quite plain, so I'm just going to leave that, and I was trying to work off the two to get it as accurate as possible. So I've been and picked up some mesh, aluminium mesh. That's this sort of stuff that you can see from here, so just so you can see the sort of scale. It bites in the sheet. This sheet's 500 by 250mm onto there, which is more than adequate, and that was about £10 into there as well, but it's ideal for what we need. It's soft, easy to cut. You can cut this with scissors if you need to. I should probably cut it on the bandsaw though, to be honest. And what we'll do is we'll insert it so it's into these parts down here, and literally from this area all down there I'll resin it in and then fiberglass over it, and that should reinforce where the belt's going then. And we can just cut these out very simply. So this area will literally be exposed, and then hopefully what we should end up with is, if we've done it right, is that sort of design onto the back. Right, the final piece then is to actually work out what we're going to do with here. Now to do this, literally all I do is make a template. I can't emphasise enough the need of templates. Templates are ideal for everything that we do. So I've made my template there. You can see I've labelled it on the left, so I know where it's going to the left. It's actually going to fit into these areas here. Okay, so you can actually see I'm going to stick a piece of metal onto the back. And I might scruff it up, I might put bullet hole marks in and things like that. All that's going to be some aluminium sheet, very thin, probably 2mm, so it's easy to bend, easy to drill. And that'll be glued on, but I'll also drill, just for aesthetics, into this bit so it screws on so it looks as if it's bolted. And that should give it a bit more of a dimension onto the actual back bit. Excuse me. So it should look something similar to that. It should just make the armour look a bit more interesting really, rather than some of the easy ones that have been done on eBay and also on YouTube. So moving swiftly on then, next stage when we see this, will be sprayed red. Hopefully the plate will be on. These will certainly be in. I may even do a quick clip just to show you how I've reinforced it using the aluminium metal, but failing that, the next stage will be to see all this complete, ready to spray. And that should be the end of that back plate.